Hello, my name is Marcelo Freitas and I am here defending the preservation of the text of the New Testament using the line of transmission of Family 35. The subject of this video is whether there are perfect manuscripts of the New Testament. It is necessary to clarify that when we say perfect, we need to have a point of reference. So when we use the word perfect in this video, we mean two manuscripts that are identical to each other. But outside of this video, we use the word perfect to indicate the agreement of the manuscript with the archetype of Family 35, which, in our view, corresponds to the orthograph, to the original text. Obviously, the manuscripts that we are going to present here are perfect. Besides being identical to each other, they also correspond to the family archetype. There is a notion in the academic world that there are no perfect manuscripts. All manuscripts would have been corrupted. Some people even claim that the most similar manuscript would have 6 to 8 variants per chapter. But it is necessary to clarify that those who think this way are usually the defenders of the critical or eclectic text. They think so because they choose the worst manuscripts, those manuscripts from Egypt, to do the analysis. The subject of this video, therefore, is very important because it will be possible to observe that the adjectives best and worst are subjective, but to give or to state the number of variants in the manuscripts equals objective data. So, for example, if the CODEX VATICANUS adopted by Hort from the WH duo, which is considered perhaps the best manuscript for the eclecticists, and Aleph adopted by Tischendorf, which competes for second place in quality for the eclecticists, are placed side by side for collations, you will find more than 3,000 variants between them in the Gospels alone. How then can they be said to be so good? That is, the eclecticists may even think that these manuscripts are the best, but they cannot deny that there are more than 3,000 differences between them. And we emphasize that this is only in the Gospels. Therefore, if we do the comparison of any other manuscript using the Codex Vaticanus or Sinaitic as the base text for this comparison, as the reference text for the comparison, the number of variants that we will have as a result in the manuscript that is being compared will be scary. Please note, therefore, that the problem is not that the manuscripts in general are bad. No! The problem is that they choose manuscripts that are terrible as a reference, as a basis for collation, and say that these manuscripts are the best just because they are old and because they like the variants. So, in this case, if we use these bad quality manuscripts against which to compare the others, all the manuscripts will be bad, corrupted, and the New Testament text will be lost, since we didn't find other manuscripts that are the same as the ones that are considered better. To the contrary, all will be full of variants. Now, if you choose manuscripts from Family 35, which are excellent quality manuscripts, to be the base text, to be the reference of the collation, then things change completely in perspective. Since manuscripts were written book by book, that will be our approach. If you choose a small book like Philemon, where there is only one chapter, the number of perfect manuscripts identical to each other is very large. We can mention 29 manuscripts that have already been empirically demonstrated to be equal. They are called GA, that stands for Gregory Aland, and appear on your screen. It is clear, therefore, that the idea that there would not be two manuscripts without variants in a single chapter is falsified by such a number of manuscripts that the idea can no longer be defended. If we choose a book with more chapters, like Galatians, which contains 6 chapters, we can present 6 perfect manuscripts, empirically demonstrated. GA 204, 1100, 1637, 1855, 2554, 2587. We have selected the book of Titus with 3 chapters to give the details of date and location of the manuscripts, and perhaps to help understand the previous information. The complete list of all the perfect manuscripts that Dr. Pickering has found, which have been empirically demonstrated, will be placed in our book. For this video not to be too long, let's just now say which manuscripts Dr. Pickering considers the best and bring the latest considerations. GA 2554, 2723, 35, 1072, 1652, 2382, 586, 789, 1713, and 2253. It is worth mentioned that he thinks these manuscripts are the best because they were compared, and empirically they had few deviations from the Family 35 archetype. GA 2554, for example, which ranks first, has all books in the New Testament from Matthew to Revelation, and has only 16 proper variants, compared to Family 35's archetype. And of the 16, only one would significantly affect the translation into another language. We consider this number to be very impressive. To repeat, we have a manuscript, a written hand copy with only 16 proper variants from the printed text of Dr. Wilbur Pickering's Family 35 in the entire New Testament. But if we put Codex Vaticanus as the basis for comparing manuscript 2554, there would be an absurd number of variants. Thousands of them. So while some may call manuscripts like Vatican Codex or the Sinaitic the best just because they are old. Dr. Pickering calls the manuscripts in the family 35 the best because the quality of the text has been shown to be better empirically. Another important observation is that it only makes sense to talk about identical manuscripts within the same family, since if we change families, we would also change the profile, and obviously we would have new variants. That said, however, we are not aware of two equals manuscripts, identical manuscripts, in any other family besides family 35. Thank you very much. Dr. Pickering is my friend. The comments are welcomed. See you in the next video.